going 3 minutes into the future of the unit here. And it was 2 minutes before, now it's 3 minutes, and he's telling me that to prepare that it will go into 5 minutes and that will be it. With that, you'll be able to figure out everything and it will spot dangers left and right. And it would all will be for the benefits of the unit, for the body. Because what he does here is he protects the body. That's what he does.
Wait, I'm still kind of I'm still kind of thrown off. So you feel like you still in the trip though?
No, I'm pretty sure that if I come down into 2D, if I come down, oh, okay, so if I disagree with this, then he shows it to me in the simulation. So like because he's testing the mechanism. What he's doing is that he's upgrading it, and then
Yeah,
the mechanism is fighting. For
yeah,
example, I could buy me a car. The ego wants to buy a car or a motorcycle to travel around and come to work like that, right?
yeah.
But the messages that I keep receiving is to get a chauffeur instead, and then I have two chauffeurs, but I don't have cars. And then I use the chauffeurs on the weekends whenever I want to do something that I want to get out of the area where I am. So I call it chauffeur company, and they send these chauffeurs and they drive me around for the whole day, for whenever time I want to be driven around. So,
Yeah.
because he doesn't want the body to go into the stress of driving a car by itself and stuff like that. So he'd rather have other units drive the body around, and that's the godly way. That's what he says. Then I'm here laughing, like, so why? That's why I have chauffeurs. Wow, I don't even use them, but I do use them like once a month.
Yeah.
Whenever I want to go somewhere and get really out of the city, I go to nature. I call the chauffeur company. It's 24/7. I pay like $400 a year, whatever the hell. And I have two chauffeurs, and they're both ladies, and they're very, very helpful. And you get all the smoke you want in the car, but they don't have psychedelics. But I told them, can you get psychedelics in here? And one of them said that she probably can accommodate me with that, but to keep a secret and blah 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 blah.
Yeah.
But it's I don't know what to do, man, because he's telling me exactly what to do here for Wally the body, but not for Wally the mechanism that was inside, believing that it was a human being in here and blah 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 blah. He's literally destroying it.
So, dang. So,
And
it's
then I can communicate with them because I'm testing them. I'm constantly I'm going like, are you guys there? And they go, yeah. And whenever they say something, the heart here, my heart, jumps and begins to vibrate even more, and that's the confirmation. And I'm going like, wow. So I'm not really going crazy, but craziness is what is, and this craziness runs everything here. All you gotta do is be open to the fact that insanity is just something inside sanity. It's not. It's pure sanity. And I'm going like, wow. So that, and then it says that you need to understand language, and it knows everything. Like the
I
text
don't
I
even
just
know who
sent you
that
about the
is.
image and the frames and all that
Yeah.
that I sent you before. This is how everything operates in here. So, for example, if you're in a museum, right,
Yeah.
and you're looking at a picture, so the picture has a frame, right? So that frame separates the museum from the picture. So the picture is one thing, and if the museum is another one, then the museum will be the host, and the picture will be the guest. And then that's how everything here runs, and only extraterrestrial units can know this information this way. And I'm going like, so I'm an alien in the story, and then they're going like, you can do whatever you want, but the aliens will be
Oh,
watching. And I'm going like,
sorry about that, Wally. Sorry about that, Wally.
about what?
Hello?
Yeah.
Hello?
Hello.
Okay, wait. Is that it? Wally. Dang, man.
Disconnected.
Hold on. I gotta return this Bluetooth back on. Because it's louder than the phone.
Smartphone connected.
Hello?
Yeah.
Okay, there you go.
Yeah.
Okay, there you go.
Do you hear anything I say?
Not really. It went out.
Man, I don't even know where I was. I was
Man, you can
okay.
hear
So
it. I
in the
can.
story, can you hear me?
Yeah, I hear you loud and clear. Loud and clear
Okay,
now.
so in the story, I'm an alien here on Earth. So if something fights this information, whatever the hell is fights it, it can survive not even 5 seconds. So it gets destroyed, and then the alien frequency takes over, and then the alien frequencies, the Buddha frequencies, the Jesus frequencies, the Albert Einstein, Nicholas Tesla, Merlin, whatever realm you want to play.
Whatever.
And
Yeah.
then, yeah, whatever realm you want to play, what happens is that, the body is here doing things that, I got to deal with all these things. And, the body has a
Absolutely.
job. So in the job, you have to be secret. So you can't say nothing. So everything will be communicated telepathically, and you can communicate with us. And there is a connection now open between two positions: the position that I have here on Earth and the position that they have there wherever they are. And then they communicated me. I don't know what to do. I don't know what to say, because when I ask them about anything, they go like, "Okay, here it is. Go to the left. There it is." And I'm going like, "Oh my god."
Okay.
I don't know what to do. And it's about the needs of the body. Everything is about the benefits of the body here.
Yeah. Yeah. Exactly.
And
Exactly. So what about?
it's overwhelming, man. I don't even know what to do. I gotta be quiet most of the time. They're teaching me to be quiet. The silent, the more silent the units are, the more the hearing sense takes over. So you begin to hear everything clearly.
Yeah.
Doesn't matter
Clearly.
where it is.
Okay. What about when you were talking about you had something to say about the psychedelics being a technology?
Okay, the psychedelics, they were sending me information this morning that they literally woke up the body. So I wake up in the morning, I arrive to work, I arrive from work at home at 6 something in the morning, then I go to sleep immediately. I showered the unit later, and not even an hour went by, and there was like a couple of lucid dreams. And in the lucid dreams, they kept saying that they were showing me how plants are plants, and they create oxygen for the bodies to breathe in here. But mushrooms are not plants. Mushrooms do the opposite. They're inside fungi, and fungi is not a plant. It's not an animal neither. It's a mysterious system in here that is supposed to upgrade the units, and it upgrades the units by destroying the information that was here before. Because that's what mushrooms do in reality. They destroy everything, and then they keep the balance like that.
Wow. Wow.
You're gonna have to get the strongest weed you got there, because
Man.
this information is just ridiculous.
This is a stove.
And then he's telling me that everybody in here has this accessibility, and
Okay.
he's telling me that you gotta get to the point of inaccessibility to get the accessibility to everything,
Hey
and that
Wally.
is isolation.
Wally. What's your sign?
Taurus,
Taurus the bull?
yeah.
Okay.
And then the star that represents the Taurus star constellation is called Aldebaran. And then that is the one that's sending the frequencies to Alcyon, which is another star which nearby has two space stations, and I control both of the space stations. And in the space stations, I have workers that work for me there. This is 5,000 years in the future here. This is not here, and the
Wait.
only way I could get, and this is 5,000 years of
So
this year, 2024. And
so
then from here, I go over there by teleporting the unit by making it subatomic. Subatomic, when it gets to subatomic level, the body paralyzes itself and it's in deep sleep. So I
so
go over there and I get another body, which is Archibald X, the one that fainted like 70 freaking times when I was in the middle
what's
of
up,
the
Mark
trip.
James? Big
And
Charles.
because it's not tripping there and everything is just naturally like that there. So Archibald X controls the other stations with other units in there. And most of the units are Native Americans and native from all over the world that were here that are not here anymore. And then they're there with other bodies or other units with different names, and then I know them all. And then they all give me the information, then I bring it here because I'm still alive here. They're already dead.
Oh wow.
Come on,
So,
man. This is
dang,
beyond.
I'm just like kind of going. That's wild. Sirius X, Archibald,
No,
Archibald,
Archibald
Archibald
X was
X.
the first unit. Archibald X was the first unit that was connected to this unit here, Wally, during a DXM trip. And then I thought I was really going crazy till they began to give me instructions on how to activate it here inside Wally's machine, the body, whatever the hell I think I am here. And then it was overwhelming, but the instructions were very simple. They just told me, you just gotta believe this. That's it. Doesn't matter about what you're doing down there. You could believe that too, but this is higher energy, and then it supersedes whatever is going on down there.
But okay, but when you go to this other place and you become Archibald, you
It's as
still
real
leave
as
the.
this place. It looks
Yeah,
as
but
real as this place, but it's in the future, and the technologies are what practically will be magical stuff going on in here because
So
you don't have to.
what do the body do here though? Do it just
Oh,
go
it's
about its
asleep.
day?
It's asleep. It's asleep. It's paralyzed.
Yeah, that's crazy.
And
That's
then when it
wild.
needs to go to the bathroom, they send me an image. Body needs immediate care down there. Not this one here. And then from here, then Archibald X paralyzes itself there. And then the energy comes down to Wally, and Wally moves itself and goes to the bathroom or goes to drink water or whatever.
Okay, but
Or
okay,
goes
what
to,
about this part? Okay, when the Wally goes to sleep and ventures off and become Archibald, what is the time like over there?
there's a timeline here, but it doesn't operate like here with seconds and minutes and stuff like that. It's perennial. The
Yeah, he
systems
took
there last
57
a lot
rounds.
longer than here, meaning that the Archibald X unit could last 250 years or 500 years there. If it doesn't run into any accidents or danger, which is literally everywhere because transportation is different there. You either could teleport or you could go into cars that fly or you could go into drones, passenger drones or UFOs or whatever because they have all that technology there. And the problem always is coming from there over here because because that world is at levels of universal abundance. This world is not there yet. I don't even think it's going to ever
But you
get there.
said that was the future of this world.
It is, but it's 5,000 years from now,
Man, that's a woo.
the least.
So that means you coming back, Wally.
Coming back here?
Yeah.
No, I'm going straight. No, when this body dies here in the story, which is going to be beyond a century, and it could possibly be 2 centuries or 3, even though there's a lot of resistance towards that information. But when this body dies here, the energy does not come back into this life program in here. It goes into the life program in the star systems. Then what happens is that I already have a family there, a mother and a father. I already met them also. My mother there her name is Mirror is her name, and then my father is Argon. And then I already met those units, and then they already show me what's going to happen when Archibald X is born there.
So
And then what they're going to do is that they're going to educate him from where he came from, which is here from Earth, in the fourth cycle. Because before I was Wally here, I was my parents. Before I was my parents, I was their parents. And before I was their parents, I was the parents of those parents. And then this is the last life I have here. And then they told me, this is why you don't have kids. This is why you don't even imagine being married and blah 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 blah. Even though if that happened, it would have been kind of the same, but there would have been a little more problems in the story because then you have to tell your kid that you're crazy. You
That
know, that you
so
could talk to, that you could talk, that you could teleport, that you could tell, they're telepath. And then if your kids are like, if you have to, your kids and your wife, everybody has to be at the same frequency.
yeah. So wait, hold on, because I'm kind of thrilled right now. When you
And this is
said
how
that
everybody is, by the way.
you was your parents and you was their parents.
I was my mother. I was my mother before and my father together, right?
Yeah.
And then what happens is that in the DXM trip, I saw that and I had a hard time with that. And then they went beyond. They went that to when they were their parents, and then they showed me that when I was my grandparents, and then they showed me when I was their parents, which was my great grandparents, and those are the only family units in here that I remember because it's as far as you remember your last relative in here.
Oh
Meaning that if you
wow.
don't remember your great grandfather, you could not have been him then because he didn't exist. So, but if you remember in the story, so but if you remember your grandfather, that will be the last one that was here. That will be the oldest unit, and then we send the information down, and then unfortunately, my mother is very old here in the story. My father the same, and it's impossible for me to go and talk to them and sit them down in the chair and tell them what's going on in here. They're going to probably die immediately after I tell them our son has gone crazy, with that story
Yeah.
and blah, blah, blah. So I didn't even waste my time with that. They told me don't waste your time with that. This is your last life here. It's going to go beyond 100 years unless you have a car crash or something. But we already show you how you're going to avoid those accidents in the future because, like I told you, in 9 years, I'm supposed to die here in a plane crash. But they told me that all I have to do was don't fly by plane. Goes in another way, and then the unit continues to survive here.
Oh wow. So you avoiding planes? Okay, they
No, they,
didn't.
they, they,
It
they
was
show me that if I take a specific airline that goes to France in the year 2023 here, 2033 here, that plane is going to crash, everybody's going to die, and then all you got to do is that when that day you're going to know that plane is going to crash, just stay quiet because plus nobody's going to believe you unless they're already open to levels of information of this kind. And then what you do, you still want to go to France, travel by water, or that'll be the only way because
so
you can't either go by water or by air or unless there's a balloon around or something or a dirigible or a blimp that I could take me to. And
so
then that
so
was it. And then they
basically
told me, and then after that it's gonna be a car crash, and you're gonna be like almost 100 years old. So but what happens is that the units are not going to age like that. So when you're 100, you're not going to look 100. You're going to look like you're 40 or 50. That's what's going to happen in the future. This is already going on in here, trying to make bodies age slower and stuff like that. But I already have this information here. But who's going to believe it? Nobody's going to believe me. Like less than 1% of the population of the planet is going to believe that.
I mean you
And then
took
because
57
everything works
grams.
at collective level.
Like on 57 grams, I don't see why you wouldn't be able to see everything at one time.
And the thing is that it's hilarious because I think the trip finishes, and I'm just receiving a lot of stuff in here, and I'm going like, wow, so I'm still tripping, and then they're saying, yes, relax, just relax. All that's going to be different is the way the unit sees. So the perception is different as you're seeing right now, right? You're
Yeah.
seeing like cameras see. You're not seeing like a human eye. And I'm going like, yeah, and it's insane the way the eyes go to the sides and can see the peripheral view almost as clear as the front view. And I'm going like, this is mind-boggling. So I'm inside a freaking machine for real.
No, but
And they're like,
basically
you
you can.
already know that.
I know. So what you're saying is too is that you can actually change the outcome of the future.
Exactly, but what happens is that you have to be at that level of energy, man. I don't even know how I got here. Because I asked that question and said like, how in the world did I get here? Whatever is inside the body, how in the world did whatever is inside this body get to this level of informational systems? And he was telling me unwillingly, and I'm going like, oh my god. So I was never looking for this. All I wanted to do was get high on weed, and it wasn't enough. Then I went to the shrooms.
Oh
And then
wow.
after that, I went to the exam, and then you wrote everything down, and then they were showing it to me in a freaking notepad that they have there that look like tablets that are way more sophisticated than this. And it was like, here,
Whoa.
you remember? And I'm going like, oh my goodness, how in the world do you know this? These are details from my life. And it
These
was
are
like,
very
it's
deep.
not your life, it's what happens. And I'm going, I didn't know what to
Whoa.
do.
Whoa. Okay, the one. What did they look like? The ones that was writing it down on the
They look
notepad.
like us. They're humanoids. They look like
That's what.
humanoids, and then they have robots, which are the ones that look alien.
See, Wally, I seen something like that on DMT, but it was like they were like
Yeah,
it's like almost like they like I'm looking in the sky at them and they're looking at me and they had like a little tablet thing. It looked like an iPad, but it wasn't an
exactly.
iPad, and they
What
was
I want
taking
you to be
down what we
open
was
to is,
doing.
yeah, what you need to be open to is the way the suits are, the outfits.
It was like a
You
doctor's
you have a
outfit.
you have a human outfit. You have a humanoid outfits. You have alien outfits. You got reptilian. The alien outfits look like reptiles, like insects, like whatever. And these are avatar systems, man.
Yeah, yeah,
And in the beginning, they begin like thoughts, then they begin to crystallize, and then they become solid in the story because there's nothing solid here.
but
It's
everything.
just the appearance. It's just the appearance of solidity.
Yeah.
And then they activated something in my unit called the
Appearance
ganglion
of
system,
solidity.
and I'm going like, oh my goodness, how do I know this word? And then when I checked it on Google, I almost freaking fainted here, and I was like, wow, oh, I can't tell nobody this. And he said, they're telling me that's the suffering that's gonna happen down there, and it's gonna happen by itself. It's the fact that you cannot communicate this information with anyone but very little clusters of people. And he was showing me you, he was showing me other guys that I know over here, and it's very few, and they are around the world. They're not even here. In
Yeah.
the simulation, they're around the world. They're in all the countries, all the states.
So, so like, has the experience been minor since like it's been over? It's still have you been getting like flashbacks or like what's been going on?
Yeah, practically I could do
Like
whatever I
flashing of
want.
info.
If whatever memory I want to go into, they will accommodate the energies in a specific way, and then they will send it to the unit here. Then the unit has to put itself to sleep or relax or not move or minimum movement. So, which means that you sit down somewhere and you isolate the motion to only the face of the unit,
Yeah,
and then the unit begins to vibrate faster and faster and faster and faster until you don't feel the body, and then there is like a pitch sound that comes in, and like it's like something snaps inside the body, and then that's when the frequency changes from here to there. And
it's
it's the same
actually
time. It's the same thing when I'm
example.
there to here. It's like something snaps and it's around the solar plex of the unit inside the body.
Hey, do you think we can come into life at any given age?
Yeah, yeah. I was doing that. I was receiving it. I was going into. They were telling me think about any memory, and like 10 years ago in the story, and I was like, okay. And then what happens that they were
That's
telling me
what
everything. They were telling me close your eyes because it's easier. And then I close the eyes, and then all of a sudden everything begins to look. The visual begins to go through resolutional systems, so the resolution becomes almost 5K. Doesn't even come close.
Yeah,
I don't even
yeah.
think we have 5K here. We got 4K, right?
I think go a
And
little
then
bit high.
the resolution becomes, and it's very easy to spot when you're in another place because they're different colors than
Restart.
here. They're colors that we don't even have here yet. I can't even explain them.
Well, use the Roku. Use the Roku on the remote. Closed up. Closed up. Oh, my bad, Wally. But he said,
Yeah.
but Eric B said, true. Ask Wally, does he know about the head gesture?
The hand gestures are called hand
No,
gestures.
no,
Hands.
the head, the number one jester.
Oh, it's funny because in the experiences that I have had, the gestures and the elves, the mechanical elves, only came through psilocybin. They didn't come through DXM. DXM actually went deeper into the simulation, and the only thing I noticed is that the images, the visuals are a lot deeper. More, the resolution is more profound than when compared to the resolution of the shrooms. I only had two experiences with the gestures with like 11 grams or something like that, and like 3 or 4 experiences with the elves. And I have to tell you, the experiences with the gestures and the elves were pretty freaking cool. I remember that.
Yeah.
And beautiful, and stuff like that. But I don't know, what was the question? The gestures what?
He said the head gesture, probably the number one gesture, because it's like in a lot of
Because
DMT
because it
experiences.
goes according to what you do here. So here I used to play chess. So every time the gestures are gonna come into any form, they show me the floor of a castle, and the floor of the castle looks, or the entrance, and then the entrance looks like a checkerboard. And then I already immediately know that the gestures are around, and then when they come around, they
Yeah.
look like what a gesture is here. And if you went to draw a gesture, like the Joker, but with a hat on, or something like that,
Yeah.
that has like a, I don't know, they got this specific hat, but it just goes in accordance to the things that you do here. Everybody is different. Every experience is going to be different for everybody. So because I play chess, they use the game of chess to as an antecedent for me to see, so I don't panic and I don't go into, oh my god, and then the gestures come in, and the gestures are, I remember in one experience with the jester that the jester just kept saying to another jester, look, he thinks he knows what he's doing, and I remember, and they were talking telepathically, and I was able to hear him, and then I told him, I can hear you, right? And they was like, oh my god, he can hear us, and then they went onto the floor, and then they knelt to me, they knelt down to me, and I'm going like, why are you doing it? It's like, you are king now, and I'm going, what? I remember, yes, and then with the mechanical elf was something else.
I'm live on YouTube right now. I'll be done in a minute. But yeah, Wally, dang man, Blake threw me off. I didn't. It was something else I was just about to ask you. Okay, dang. You never so dang that's the elves. When you seen the elves, what were they actually doing, and
Well,
how'd
the
you
elves,
come upon it?
the elves experience were they were very interesting because I was able to see my apartment, and at the same time, I was able to see them inside my apartment. So it was an eye open, eye closed experience with the elves. Like you remember when you said that you saw a gnome?
Yeah,
All right, it was something like that. I don't know if you saw the gnome with your eyes open or your eyes closed, but
it was close.
when the elf experiences came, it was eyes open and eyes closed also at the same time in my
Yeah,
apartment. And then when I closed my eyes, they would come around very close to whatever was looking, and then they would tap me in my head, and then they would run back over there, and then they would start talking to each other, and they would be saying to each other, do you think he felt that? Do you think he felt that? And they would, and they would start laughing and stuff like that. And I'm going like, of course I felt it. And the first time I met him, it was overwhelming. It's like the same. The first time I met the gestures, it was the same thing. I mean, you're literally astonished. You can't even
yeah,
do anything.
yeah. You yeah, you kind of just like, whoa, look, finally they right here in front of me. Okay, look. Okay, was it anything like during the 57-gram experience that they
Oh
told you
no,
was
nothing,
there? No, I'm saying. No, I'm
nothing,
saying.
nothing tough to
No,
57
I'm
gram.
saying. I'm
Nothing.
saying. Was it anything that told you? Okay, here goes some information. Say this.
Yeah, there was a narrator through the entire. It's still on. The narration is still going on. That's the voice I hear that is very loud now. He's not saying anything right now because I'm talking to you
Yeah.
in the story. So he's respecting that. But the second I relax or go, the second there is a pause that you stop talking and I stop talking, they saying that great, good work. That's what they say. And it's a voice.
Is it the same voice that been talking to you since you was little?
Uh, the best way I can put it is what I kept hearing every time I thought I was thinking. You see, thinking comes in a visual, and it also comes with a voice, with sound.
Yeah.
And in the visual, you can hear the sound of things as they move around. You know, if something makes a sound, you hear it in the visual also. But when other people come inside the thought, when you think about somebody else, is in the beginning, unless the person in the thought is talking, then the voice is not needed. Unless the person begins to speak or walk around, and then you can hear that pretty clear.
Yeah. Okay, so the afterglow of the experience, did you get caught like in the afterglow of like not at times being all the way back here?
Oh, I wasn't here at all, and at the same time I was, and it was like whatever was here was paralyzed. It was in paralysis. The body, once the body paralyzes itself, everything else around the body is still moving around, but the body is not moving. And then what happens that when you close your eyes, then everything is different. It goes into another program. You know, it's like an eye open program, and there's an eye closed program.
Yeah.
And they both operate at the same time. Then whatever's in between that is the synapse that communicates from the openness to the closeness, and it's literally blinking here. It's what we do when we blink. But we're not supposed to know that. They keep saying that, you know, don't go into human form thinking that you know this because no other human form is going to believe it.
Okay. What about did he? Okay. What about any information on good and bad? Did it say anything about that?
Good and bad is the same thing. It's one frequency. Bad cannot exist unless good is around, and good cannot exist unless bad is around. Then there is an arbitrator. The arbitrator is the heart. The heart is the one that's going to make that decision because you could be bad in a positive way, and you could be good in a negative way also. I know it's overwhelming there.
That's right. Yeah.
That's why you got serial killers. That's why you got rapists. That's why you got bank robbers. You know, you gotta see it this way. When there is a bank robbery, and the police is called to stop the robbery or to get the perpetrators, the bank robbers, they are under the illusion that they're doing good,
Yeah.
and so is the police.
Yeah.
And then what happens is that the third observer is the one that begins to judge everything wrong. Even though in the story it's supposed to be right.
Oh, that's a good one. That's a good one, Wally.
You know, because the people that are robbing the bank, they're robbing the bank to make sure their families eat and blah 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 blah. And so it does the police. The police does the same thing. We gotta stop this. It's a job. Everything is a job. When you're a serial killer, and your job is to kill people. You see?
Yeah.
And it's the same job a soldier has when he's in a war. You see?
Exactly. 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 You just be the hitman.
What happens is that the arbitration that is taking place in those stories is coming from personal levels. Units that believe there are people here that believe that there's a right or wrong. So once you're in a people unit, Once your unit goes down into a human being level, you are manipulated by a polarity that has an arbitration. Also, everything has an arbitration, and the arbitration is the heart, the bodies. You see?
Oh wow.
And that's how everything here works, and it's working unconsciously most of the time. 99.9.007% is unconscious activity happening, appearing as if it was conscious. And that's the dream right there. And they're both dreams. But one dream is happening at impersonal levels, and the other dream at personal level. The personal level takes everything serious, meaning that it makes everything real. The impersonal level knows that everything is not real. It's unreal. So that's why they're not afraid of doing things in here. You see, that's why people jump off cliffs. That's why people kill themselves in here. And it's because they have wrote it down like that in the story, because somebody mentioned that why does the body, what was gonna, if this is an illusion, what's gonna happen when you jump out of a bridge? First of all, the bodies are never gonna do that.
Huh.
Only the mechanism inside will come with that story. And it will literally, with conviction, and it will follow, and it will jump off a bridge. And what's happening is that the mechanism is looking for another experience. That's what suicide is. They get tired of this shit here, and they want something else. And then they believe in the religious system, the scientific system, the spiritual system, the magical system. But most of the time it's because they believe that there is a God there waiting for them in paradise, and blah, 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 or whatever. This is why the hijacking is happening here and all that. Is they following belief systems.
Yeah. Do you think that's a problem?
If you are taking it personal, yes, it's a problem, because you're making everything real here. In the impersonal, everything is unreal. And then the arbitrator makes the decision which way of the frequency is better for the body, you see?
Yeah.
And if the body keeps reinforcing evil here, then evil is never going to stop. You see? So if the body reinforces good, then good is never going to stop. And then they both working together. One can be without the other. Evil cannot exist unless goodness is around, and vice versa.
Yeah, vice versa. So one complements the other?
Yeah, exactly. And what happens is that a lot of times when there's a lot of clutter, this is when the forces of nature get in, you see? When there's a lot of clutter anywhere in the world, in the apparent planet, Mother Nature, what you call Mother Nature, which is the opposite of technology, which Mother Nature is where the body is, right? That's the frequency where the body operates on, in the frequency of nature. In the side of the frequency of nature, in the side of the frequency opposed to nature, is the technologies that the body uses in here to transport itself. Cars, airplanes, blah, 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 blah. And then the system breaks down into organic systems and mechanical system or technological system. Example, a tree is an object operating at organic levels, natural levels. And then an artificial tree is another object operating at artificial levels, you see?
Oh, wow. That's deep.
And then a car is an artificial level object in here. And then the body is the natural aspect of the car, you see? And they're all together. They work. What happens is when you get to this level, everything is in one unit. And that's kind of a mess in here.
Yeah,
that's the mess in here, because then you got to go out, and then you got to deal with other units that have no idea this is happening, and then you just got to go around quiet, you know?
So, has that experience, that last experience, changed how you like relate to people or go about your day?
Well, you know, what I noticed is that there's a lot more calmness now, because there is no need to tell anybody now this.
Yeah.
That because what happens is that the quieter I become, the faster things come to the unit. You see?
Yeah.
Right? But the more I talk, the slower things are coming to the unit. Meaning that I'm literally sacrificing myself in here if I think I'm talking to you. But I know that I'm not talking to you. That talking is what's happening. And I'm not the one that made that decision. The heart makes the decision inside the body. And I can't fight with him because I'm in the mind. What you think you are is inside the brains of the unit. What is happening is in the heart of the unit. It's two different stories.
Yeah, two different.
It's the same story run through two different authorities.
Yeah.
One authority supersedes the other. The authority of the body doesn't lie. The authority of the mind is all lies. It's always lying. And that's how the game happens here. That's the entertainment when you get to that level. Because I was here laughing. I was like, man, I remember when I almost lost this thing that I had. And my God, it's unbelievable. Yeah.
So, dang. So
Man,
how do you know?
I don't know what to say.
How do you know which one is talking when it's talking then?
Oh, the heart jumps. When the heart jumps, that's what's really happening, and that's what's really needed.
Yeah.
When let me give you an example. Are you listening? You have to listen to this one because it's very easy. Look, the body suffers in a different way by itself than with the psychological program. The psychological program is what makes the body age, which is where you think you are here since you were born and what they told you, right? That's the psychological program. The body always has to deal with the worst suffering in the story. When you go, because everything is hierarchy. So the worst suffering in the story is hunger, that the body gets hungry all the time. You see?
All the time.
And he has to eat. So that is that whenever that's the only suffering that the body has to deal with in here. And also make sure that it's inside a nice place. So when the bigger parts of it, the other parts of the body start coming in, like storms, snow, heat, or whatever, the body's inside another unit or a headquarter or your apartment or your house, right? And then the body also has to maintain itself by showering and smelling good and stuff like that to blend in with the other programs and not cause chaos and at the same time not deteriorate, because when the body showers, if the body doesn't shower for like 5 days or a week or something like that, what happens is that the skin of the body, the layers of the skin begin to get hardened, and then the body begins to deteriorate faster. So showering is important here.
Oh,
Brushing your teeth, brushing the teeth is important. Picking on your nose by yourself. When you're somewhere, you got to clean everything. And then everything is normal. So. This is the interesting part. So let's say that I'm hungry, right?
yeah.
Are you listening?
Yeah, I'm listening.
You sound far away.
My bad.
This
listening.
is very important. This is very interesting.
I'm listening.
Can you hear me? All right. Let's say that I'm hungry.
Yeah.
And I have two thoughts about food, right? One is a slice of pizza, and the other one is a sandwich, right?
Yeah.
All right, the heart, I asked the heart here, what do you want? You want pizza? And if it's flatlining, that means he wants the sandwich. And then when I say sandwich, he jumps. Yeah, like that. That's how simple it is. And then there are more choices. Then what happens that you go through the list. You want rice and beans with steak, or rice and beans with chicken, or you want a sandwich, you want a pizza. And then if he jumps in the pizza, then the other ones are canceled. And then you go and get a slice of pizza. And that's not you that makes the decision. It's the heart that wants to eat pizza.
Yeah. Okay, so
and then the heart.
I understand that.
And that's how everything is in here. Then the heart sends the information to the brain, and it says that you better eat the pizza or we're gonna kill you. All right, all we gotta do is stop beating.
Yeah, it'd be to the point to where you don't want nothing else. If you go to get the pizza and that pizza place is closed, you'll drive to 5 more until you get that pizza.
Exactly. Now you got it. You've been there before, right?
Yeah.
And then you know what happens is that most people don't know that their unconscious. I can't believe I drove 10 miles for these candies, and you know, and you're not doing that.
It's the
It's what's
body.
happening. Taking care of what's of the little one happening in there, which is that body. Because there is a big happening, there's a little happening. The little happening is the immediate needs of the body, and then the big happening is what you think the body is looking
Yeah.
at.
That is hilarious. That is hilarious.
You know?
Watch, somebody gonna do that. Watch, one of y'all out there gonna do that tomorrow. You gonna say you want a hamburger or something like that, and you gonna drive, and the place gonna be closed.
I don't know. I don't know that your unit is operating at that level, but this unit here is operating at that level, and I thought that was very cute and very simple. I was like, wow, so everything is even simpler than I thought.
But
And then
that's
you can apply that with everything.
with
You can
every. I
ask the
was just
heart.
gonna say that you can apply it with anything. You can apply it with
Exactly.
music. You can
Yeah,
apply
yeah.
it with something you want to see.
Meaning that if you're gonna go somewhere and you don't know what's gonna happen, you say, "Am I in the right place?" And if the heart jumps, that means you are in the right place. If the heart flatlines, get the hell out of there.
Yeah, get on, get on.
Yeah,
Hey, I
that's
didn't
how
did
simple
that.
it is.
Wally, I didn't did that with like movies. Like say like if I'm about to watch a movie with my son and it'd be a certain movie I would think of and I'll get excited about it and I'll go looking for that movie and then not be able to find it and then have to search through all these different programs just to still find that movie and be able to play that movie because if I don't get to it, I don't want to watch nothing at all.
Exactly. And what happens is that, and that's it. It works with everything. Especially, it's good. I'm glad that you said that because I like to watch movies in the story now because it is the fastest way that the body learns in here.
Yeah.
It's not by books and stuff like that. Even though they say that reading is fundamental, forget it. Watching something is even more fundamental. You know, because it's the same thing but faster. So it comes faster. You're watching
Yeah.
the movie or you're gonna read the book. Even though sometimes you might want to read a book because I give the choices to the heart sometimes. If you guys, well, it doesn't read books anymore, but it goes through audiobooks. You know, you got the audiobooks on the internet, and then I ask the heart, do you want something? And then what ask the heart is what's happening. Don't even get in there thinking it's you.
Hold on 1 second, Wally. Come on, say it, Blake.
Yeah.
My bad. Oh, oh, for real? You trying to join this channel? Okay. Okay. When I'm done, I'll help you out. All right. See. All right. Okay. All right. I got you. See, now that unit is the controller. Wow.
Only if you make them. Only if you make it the controller.
Okay. Mark Dream said, I feel him because the heart and mind are like two different brains, and we tend to listen to our thoughts over our heart, like when
Yeah,
we listen to our
I'm
minds
glad
over
that you said that.
our
Look, do not believe one
intuition.
thought. That's the discipline. You see that?
No, I look, Wally. I had an experience.
No, do you hear that? Do you hear what I just said?
Yeah,
Every thought that comes in is a lie.
yeah.
The only one that can make that lie good or bad is the heart. So you got to take it to the heart, and then the heart is going to reject almost all of them,
What you want?
and it's going to show you what is. Like it's like when sometimes I want to do psychedelics, and you know what it tells me? Go to the store and buy a Motrin, and I'm going a Motrin, yeah, or an Advil or something like that. We take care of the rest here, and then the heart is jumping, and I'm going like, I can't believe so. Is this painkiller is going to be a psychedelic? And I said, yeah, go get it. Go get 2 bags. And I'm going like, holy snap. And then I've been getting high on fucking, on Motrin and Advil, and I'm going like, I'm laughing, going like, oh my God. So I could only spend $1.50 and get the high of my life here, get all the information I need. And you know, I've been
My
doing
drawer,
that
the
too.
top drawer, the black drawer. Yeah, with the key in it.
Because
It's in the
I
top
don't
one.
smoke weed anymore. You know?
It's in there. But no, Wally, I was geeking off that because when I had took the 7 grams that time, I think it was that time, and like I seen myself starting as a small organism, and as that organism began to grow, that organism was controlling things. But then once the brain formed, the brain started to take over control of the whole body.
Yeah, that's what was happening here before. What happens is that the mechanism can take over the machine easily.
Yeah,
And then the arbitrator goes back in time and then he starts calculating to bring you the best estimations that could possibly happen. And what happens is that if you estimated something a lot, which is what a frequency is, then it pleases the body by accepting that frequency. And then
yeah,
it's already too late when you realize that it was a psychological system that came in, and then the heart is, you know, the heart deals with it because, you know, the decision was already made. But what happened here is that the decisions are no the Wally has no control in here at the 2D level, but it's used for practical purposes, of course.
wait. So Wally don't have not one bit of control.
The two-dimensional Wally, because there's the
Yeah.
two-dimensional
Oh,
Wally
okay.
and the three-dimensional Wally. The three-dimensional Wally is the body. The two-dimensional Wally is the psychological program inside the mind, which is what creates what you think your life here is. What happens is that
Okay.
when both systems are working together, the unit is operating in 5 dimensions, not 3 or 2 anymore. It's operating on both together. So the left side of the brain gets together with the right side for the first time, which is what happened here in a long time ago, apparently in the story when the first psilocybin trip I took.
Okay, what about the concept? What about the gut brain?
The what?
The gut brain. The
What's the
brain that's
gut
in the
brain?
stomach. It say the gut biome people influence the brain for tuning into these thoughts while
Oh,
your
that's
heart decides the brain is
instinct,
wild
instincts.
is
What you're
valid.
talking is about instincts, right?
I is that what you're talking about?
The in,
Instinct? No, he talking about the
the
gut
in,
brain. Cause you get like
that's those are instincts. That's the psychic area of the unit. A gut feeling is an instinct.
oh
It's
okay
a
yeah.
psychic system. Anything below that is a psychological system. So it doesn't have the same pull in energy, but it still operates. And
Yeah.
then if the heart goes back into the past, and if that's what's preferred, that's what's going to happen. The decision is not made by anyone. It's just what happens. And the
Yeah,
heart
it's
takes
just
care of
what
that. That's the
happens.
arbitrary.
It's crazy because it's almost like it reminds me of the way the wood grain goes. Like that, like it just happens, and you're going the same way as the grain of that wood, and you might feel or think that you doing all these things that you think you're doing, but it's not. You're not. It's what's just happening. It's the way it is.
But if you believe that it's you, that is the dreaming aspect of the unit, and then that is a nightmare. That's the
Yeah,
nightmarish aspect of the dream, because the dream is always good, but there's also a nightmare part of the dream, which is the opposite.
yeah,
Dream and
because
the nightmare is one unit.
when you try to have that control over everything and you find out you don't have all the control you really think you do, but you do it.
When I thought I was gonna die for sure with DXM, that I
Yeah,
overdosed myself,
yes
the
sir.
whole dream turned into a nightmare. And then what happened is that I had my phone with me at that time in the bathroom, and I had no idea what I was going in the bathroom because the body knew exactly where to go. So it was going to open the shower and put it in cold water and go through hypothermia for like 30 or 40 minutes to resuscitate the body, right?
Yeah.
And then when I'm about to call 911, I saw that the body threw the phone to the living room, and I'm going,
Oh
what the heck? And
wow.
then right there, I picked it up immediately. I said, like, why would he do that? He said, because he knows what he has to do here with the water. You don't need 911. You get 911, you die today. And I'm going like, what? Yeah.
Oh wow. Dwayne said, interesting. Is that why in the fetus the heart beats first, then the brain and spine develops after, the heart being the true self, and
The
the
heart,
brain
yeah,
becoming
the
an
heart and
interface
the
to
brain are
process
both
information?
connected. What happens is that they
Oh
disconnect
wow,
when when
Dwayne.
you begin to listen to your parents in here,
I'm a few
and when
more
you begin to
guys.
listen to your
Let's see.
teachers in here in school, when you begin to listen to your boss in jobs and stuff like that, and then the heart totally disconnects. So the mind takes over. So you're in a mental program, psychological program here, and the
Yeah.
psychological program is based on suffering all the time, and it's like surviving. It's surviving. You're
Survival
surviving for
times.
status here. That's what you're doing, and for money and for sex. And then you control status and sex with money, and
Oh
then
wow.
and that's how it goes.
Wow. Putting the pussy on the pedestal.
And then what happens is that the psychological program, or what they call the ego here, the ego always wants more, and it ignores less. And then by ignoring less, it disconnects the frequency, and it's always compulsive. Compulsive. I have one car, I want two now. I have one house, I want two houses now. And then nothing has any value, any meaning. You got two houses, doesn't matter. We're gonna take them
Yeah.
away from you when you die. How about that?
Yeah.
And that's not even you that died. You just killed the body, you know.
Yeah. Yeah. Just the
And what
body.
happens that the body, that whatever happens that the body carries along with that because the psychological program is in charge. What happened here is that everything was reversed and then unified, which is even worse. When the unification takes over, it's crazy because I don't feel my heart beating here. My heart here in the story is vibrating all the time. Then the beat is like it's felt real far away. I will have to be super calm. And by the time I'm super calm, I'm paralyzed, so I can't hear anything. I can't feel anything. And then, all I feel is vibrations and vibrations and vibrations and vibrations. And all of a sudden, I'm somewhere else. And that's how it
Sound
begins
like
here.
Eric B. Sound like Eric B. That sound like Eric B for real, Wally. Constantly
What's
vibrating.
that?
Like he always on that vibration.
I mean, everything is vibrating here. I mean, it's crazy. When I try to explain to people, they and then what happens that when it gets to that level, the perception aspect of the unit changes. So whatever you were looking at before, you were looking at through human eyes systems.
Yeah.
And then what happens is that the human eye gets superseded by the camera looking instead of a human eye. So the camera, when it
Whoa.
looks at something, it catches everything. It doesn't miss anything.
Yeah, it catches everything.
That's why you got cameras here in surveillance instead of security guards or people on posts and stuff, because the eyewitnessing system is the worst because it doesn't remember. So it needs the camera in order to remember everything. You see?
Yeah. The camera is.
And
I
then the
think
camera, and then the camera goes to a recording. It goes through a tape, and that's the linear scene here. That's when time and space programs get in here. You see? If you want to rewind it, you go back in time, and if you want to pull forward, you go forward in time, and then everything here operates the same way
my head
movies
just nodded
operate. You see?
yes. My
Motion
head just nodded
pictures.
yes. Ocean pictures. This is deep.
Motion
bro.
pictures.
Motion pictures.
Yeah.
So, what about dang? So life is just that movie.
It operates like a video. It's like a movie, but it operates in reality, in ontological reality. In an ontological level, it operates like a video game,
Like a video game. It's just
like a movie that you can control all of a sudden.
Yeah.
Because that's what's happening in here. So because I was saying, so this is like a movie I'm able to control. And then he's telling me the reason you're able to control it is because the arbitration goes into the user, not the NPCs. Before you were an NPC. Now you're a user, and now they're both together, and they're operating as one unit here.
Oh wow.
And this is why you got video games where you got characters that are just hanging around your game, like Call of Duty. But your character is the one that's controlling everything in there. And then your character is controlled by the body that is playing the video game. You see?
So dang. So can the heart and the mind work together in like a
Yeah. What happens is that
poetic fashion?
what happens is that the heart story in the storyline is more powerful than the mind story. Everything is a hierarchy. So the top of the hierarchy of the body is the heart. Is to get to there. Is to get to there and there have something else see that is what is. That thing does not lie. It always makes the right decisions. It doesn't make mistakes. It's always calculating right. And then the miscalculator is the other one. Is the other program that was here.
Yeah.
Where you thought you were, or blah blah blah.
Dang. Yeah, that's deep, man. That'd be a lot. That'd be a lot to take in. So.
Oh yeah,
So,
man. I most of the times in here, what I'm doing is I'm actually taking a break from the information, so I'm always sleepy. If you ask me, yeah, and then when I go to sleep, then I go into other simulations, and then in the other simulations, you could either receive information and see movies about the information you're receiving, or you could go into the dreaming program, and that's when the body begins to dream. And then in the dreams, you use other bodies in there. That people barely can see themselves in dreams. I'm able to see myself in dream. I took that time, and this is when you become lucid here. All right. So in other words, whatever you're doing today, you already dreamt it yesterday. You see?
yeah.
But you're not supposed to know that, because if you know that, then that's going to be experienced here as deja vu. You see?
Yeah, basically.
So everything that is happening here is just deja vu. It's the bodies are sleepwalking. There's nobody looking at anything in here neither, or hearing anything in here neither, or tasting anything, or touching anything, or smelling anything. It's just what happens.
Yeah.
And this information is overwhelming. People don't want to. Some people don't. They can't have. I lost a lot of friends in the story because of this.
Ready for Wally.
And he told me, don't even go in there, because they process the information that way. That's what they created. So you have to respect their reality now.
Exactly.
And that's when the fun begins here.
Yeah, yeah. That's when everything starts.
Yeah.
But, Khan
One of the most challenging experiences for me is when I go to the gym. Nobody in the gym wants to talk to me anymore. Only like one or two people. And then the one or two people that talk to me, and they're also overwhelmed with the information that I give. So, I decide to shut up. I shut up, and
Well, Wally, Khan said our consciousness pops into other movie theaters watching their life or watching
there is no
watching.
such a thing as consciousness of awareness. It's perception, and it's perception at impersonal levels. The second perception becomes personal, then is when those two stories get in: consciousness and awareness.
Consciousness and
It's
awareness.
perception. It's perception, and it's operating by itself. That's impersonal level.
Yeah, on the personal level. Exactly, on the personal level.
Impersonal.
So what you mean by
Impersonal, not
what do
personal.
you mean by impersonal?
Impersonal, that there's no person in there. The body's the one doing the things.
The body is acting as the person?
Exactly. And then you believe you're the person, so you make everything worse.
Oh, dang.
Because you're basing everything that you know is based on what others told you in the story. You think the sky is blue and that it's apart from you, that it's somewhere very high that you can't touch it. No, it's right here, and you could touch it when you put your hands all the way up, and then you could feel it when the vibrations of the sky get together with the vibrations of the finger that is pointing at the sky.
Exactly.
And that's how you begin to run the show here.
That's what Eric B do, and Eric B always talking about this. That's crazy, man.
The sky, there is no distance anywhere. And the opposite of distance is intimacy. In intimacy is where the heart is. In distance is where the mind is.
So the mind creates the distance.
Exactly. The mind is the one that creates the distance because he was told that there's such a thing as distance. And there's such a thing as intimacy. But the intimacy was